Welcome. Today we're talking about developing a marketing plan. And so when you use the term marketing, especially in direct sales, a lot of people think that marketing and advertising are the exact same thing, and they're not. And so I think there's a big misconception. And so when I talk about a marketing plan, you think, well, my corporate office has a marketing plan. Like they clearly know what they are doing, and they've given us this, outline and stuff like that. Well, okay, yes, and they have done. Every corporate office has done a great job. Even on the thread on the message board yesterday, or on the group yesterday, when people were like, utilize what your corporate office has. It's so true. They've gone to such great lengths and hired great people to write those and stuff like that. But there is kind of a little bit of an understanding that as far as the marketing goes of yourself as an independent consultant, you need to kind of take the reins and do that and get excited about what it is that you can do to market yourself using, obviously their company and their policies and stuff like that. So marketing actually is defined specifically as the total of activities involved in the transfer of goods from the producer or seller to the consumer or buyer, including advertising, shipping, storing, and selling. So what that basically means is that marketing is more than just advertising your business. Marketing is more than just handing out business cards. It's about everything that you do in business. It's really more, more all-inclusive than just advertising. It's, how do you do your customer care? What do you offer as far as your opportunity, as far as your hostess program? Your products are a part of your marketing plan and stuff like that. So when you're developing a marketing plan, you have to kind of gather all of this information together, to then, make a plan with what you have. So today is not just how to advertise your business, although we're going to be talking about that. We're really talking more about how to utilize everything that you have, from your product, your opportunity, your hostess plan, your opportunity, the information from your corporate office, all of that. We're pulling all of that in and making a marketing plan. Now, before you even get started, before we even go there, do you know who your ideal client is? We talked about this, and we talked about the importance of qualifying leads. And we talked about, if you're hearing no, 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 no all the time, then chances are what's happening is that you're not qualifying your leads. A qualified lead, it's not 100% that they're going to say yes, but there's a very good chance that it's going to say yes. And remember my little picture? I had the little guy standing outside of the rainforest selling umbrellas. Okay, that's being at the right place at the right time. That's knowing who your market is and going to where they are. You have to figure out who your ideal client is. And there's, again, misconceptions here. I was in skincare, and I remember my upline, and granted this was, almost 20 years ago. No, it wasn't. 15 years ago. Don't make me older than I am. But the thing is, my upline would say, anybody with skin is a prospect, because we were in skin care. And we had product for men, we had product for women, of course, we had product for babies, we had products for different nationalities. So, it was anybody with skin, anybody, whatever was a prospect. And where I understood that what she was trying to teach me at that time was not to prejudge. There's a difference between prejudging and qualifying, and so 15 years ago I didn't understand. And what I ended up with was talking to literally every person that didn't run screaming from me, just about the business. And while that's still kind of what people say, like, I got so many no's, so I got so disheartened, I got so frustrated, I got so, what's wrong with me? Why do I suck at this? Like, all these things that I remember thinking as a young direct sales consultant. It wasn't until much, much later that I realized, that qualifying is so important, and there's so many reasons why. And the number one, of course, is to get more yeses. So we have to figure out who your ideal client is. Who is it? Think about your product. Think about your opportunity. Think about your hostess plan. All of that in one. Okay? And then tell me who your ideal client is. And here's the thing, it may be a little bit different for everybody. You can sell the same products, but the ideal client be different. Not every single person on this call's ideal client is a woman between the ages of 24 and 35. It's not, just you may be in that, but it doesn't mean that's the ideal client. I, as a very young consultant, my ideal client became people closer to my age. It was easier for me to talk to them, to build that relationship. So, who is your ideal client? Are they male or female? What age group? Are they parents? I loved working with stay-at-home moms because I was one, because I could connect with them, I could understand them. Remember, we're in the relationship business, and this is why I think it's so important that one of the best things that you can do to build your business is to get a hobby, so that you're able to connect with people on a personal level in the things that you love first, and then business second. So what occupation? Do you want somebody who, works? Maybe somebody who doesn't work? Now, here's the thing. If you've got somebody who doesn't work, we're in the business to make money. They need to have money to spend, whether it is on your product or whether it's on your opportunity. Social class, hobby, all this kind of stuff. So spend some time today kind of figuring out who your ideal client is. And then you got to find them, okay? So then it's about figuring out who he or she is, and then figuring out where they are. I marketed to moms. I was a stay-at-home mom. Little Diva was itty-bitty. She's in high school now. Or actually she wasn't even born when I got started, but so she was tiny, tiny, tiny when I was building my business. So I went to parks, I went to libraries, daycares, moms groups. Moms groups were huge. As we got older, salons, gyms, hospitals, schools, banks, restaurants, I got involved in circles of women because that was what I figured out was kind of my clientele. The bar and restaurant industry, those people all know each other. Teachers, they all know each other. They're all taking classes together and certifications, and stuff like that. And so I kind of got in these different social occupation type circles. But I had to go out and actively seek them out. I had to go out and actively find them. So when you figure out who your person is, who your people are, then, it's going to be a matter of finding them. Starbucks. Unless you have been completely under a rock for the last probably 5 years, you know what Starbucks is. Starbucks became a household name. Starbucks has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful marketing plan, and part of the reason why is because they had a really, really little budget. If you read the history of Starbucks, it is just remarkable what this little coffee shop began as. I think they had a global thought, they had a global idea, but I'm not sure that anybody would have guessed that Starbucks would create what it is that they have. And so what I love and why I teach Starbucks is because they have global vision, they have global opportunity, which all of you have, and they have little bitty budgets. Now, I don't know about you, but when I started, I had a little bitty budget, little bitty, like little bitty. In fact, I talk about how I signed up for my direct sales company by not paying my power bill that month. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't even tell my then husband that I didn't pay the power bill. Not that I support, tell everybody to do that, but I was not a college graduate, MBA, making a $250,000 job, when I started in direct sales. That wasn't me. Some people have that background. That wasn't me. I was in apartment management. I was making very good money for a woman, in the county and stuff like that. My budget was still very, very small. So that's what I love about Starbucks. Can you imagine? I think they're okay with their money now. I think they're probably doing pretty well. So let's talk about Starbucks and how they did it. Okay. The first thing that they focused on was the perfect cup of coffee. Okay. Good news about this is that your corporate office has kind of done this for you. They wanted a perfect product. And I'm a huge Starbucks fan, and I have friends that are huge Starbucks fans. There's just something about Starbucks. We joke that it's got, something probably illegal in it. It's just a joke. But they focused on having the perfect cup of coffee. The great thing about you is that you have the perfect products. You've had a whole team of people before you even came along that has done tireless work on giving you the perfect product. So you have this down already. It's a matter of you knowing that, learning that, knowing inside and out. Do you know every single person that works at Starbucks has to know how to make everything? So you want to make sure that you not only have the perfect product, which you do, but that you're also knowledgeable about that perfect product. The second thing they did was they created what they considered a third space, and this was part of their Starbucks marketing. And what their concept behind this is it was a third place for you to drink coffee. Where do we drink coffee? We drink coffee at home, we drink coffee at work, and now we drink coffee at Starbucks. When you go to Starbucks, what do you see? It's not, it doesn't look like a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever that looks very restaurant-y or, whatever style, even though Dunkin' Donuts has phenomenal coffee. Starbucks focused on making it a third place that you want to come, you want to relax. They were pioneers in free Wi-Fi, stuff like that. They made it this third place that you wanted to come and meet your friends and have a cup of coffee. With us, with direct sales, we have a third place too to hang out with your friends. Hang out with them in school, hang out with at work, hang out with them in a party. By the time you get to our age, whatever, going to the bar, going to happy, that kind of stuff, we're kind of over that. We're kind of past that. And so with direct sales, you have a third place to hang out with your friends. You also have a third place to shop. Where do you shop? You shop at the mall, you shop online, you shop at my parties. Okay, so part of their marketing plan was having that third place and kind of, making it the third place and marketing it as this other place that you can get these things. And you can do the exact same thing with your parties. Third thing they did was customer satisfaction. Now, this is big, and this is something that is probably overlooked in direct sales and something that is difficult sometimes. I joke that the person that said the customer was always right never actually dealt with the customer. Sometimes they're not, okay? Sometimes they're just not. But we have to go over and above anyway. We have to just deal with it anyway. If you get a coffee from Starbucks that you don't like, they are trained to give you another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. They can give you your money back. They can continue making coffee. They go for customer satisfaction. They want to make sure that you are happy with everything. They'll give you gift cards. They'll give you, I'm not telling you to go in and complain, but the way that they handle the way that they are trained, we hope that this, we know how that is. We hope that it comes out, but they are trained to go over and above for customer satisfaction. This is what you need to be doing with your business as well. It's not always easy. It is not always easy dealing with the public. It is not always easy dealing with customers. It is not always easy dealing with hostesses. It is certainly not always easy dealing with team members. But you need to focus on that customer satisfaction. That's part of your marketing plan, is how you are perceived, how people know you, and how you run your business. Fourth thing they did was create a community. Celebrities, that kind of everybody's drinking Starbucks, everybody, you have that as well. You can create that as well. Party Plan Divas is a community of like-minded people. Well, you have that as well. If you're in, say for instance, you do kitchen gadgets or something like that, your tribe, your people, it can be everything from the home chef to the mom trying to get dinner on the table quickly. These are your people. Those of you, there's a whole movement out there about all natural and essential oils and all that kind of stuff. That's your tribe. That's your community. Those are your people. So stick with that and help to cultivate and create that community. Part of that is knowing that you're an expert in that field. Share what you know. Become that resource. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. The next thing is what they call smart partnerships. Now, if you go to like a sporting event or something like that, you may see a sign for Starbucks, right? Like the billboard or the little signs that they have like on the fences, even at kids' games and stuff like that. And a lot of times they haven't actually paid for that necessarily. What they've done is partner. So they're like, hey, we'll send you X amount of coffee if you'll put our stuff. Okay. that kind of partnership, sorry guys, the fan is on, it's driving me crazy. But that kind of partnership, that kind of scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. How do you do that? Think about who in your town you can work with. Who can you partner with? Think about your business, your industry. I was in skincare, and one of the places that I partnered with was a bridal shop, because what bride doesn't want to look amazing on her wedding day? And she wants her whole wedding party to look amazing on her wedding day. And so I teamed up with a bridal shop, and I said, any bride who books, through me or whatever, I'll give you $10. I gave it because they're little salespeople. They're on commission also. And I asked them to put my business cards up. Another thing that I did with Smart Partnerships, you may have heard this, is my community partner program. I had a VIP hostess package, and all of my hostesses who did over $1,000 party got this VIP. And what I had done was gone around to service-based businesses, nail salons, hair salons, stuff like that, and I said, hey, I have a program that I want to reward my hostesses, and maybe I can help you out too. Do you have any service-based coupons or vouchers or something like that that you can offer that I can use as a reward? And it's going to get, because most service-based, nail people, hair people, whatever, if they can just get people in their seat, then they can get, I've been going to the same nail person for 7 years. So, I had my nail person gave me, free manicure, free pedicure coupons. My hair person gave me free cut and style coupons. I had a free 20-minute massage from a massage therapist. I had a free microdermabrasion from a skincare person because we didn't have that in our skincare line. So there was, there were people that I partnered with, and I would give their coupons, and in exchange for that, they would have my business cards out at their salon. And if people, talked about their issue, with skin or with aging or whatever, then they would recommend me. So it was a really neat kind of, and here's the great thing too, it didn't cost me or that person anything at all. It was all service-based. So that may be something that you want to work on this week to launch for, the summer months. Next thing was innovation, and this is something that I think, first of all, your corporate office does so much of this. Your corporate offices, they have that helicopter view of the industry, and so sometimes they're doing things and they're introducing things, and you're thinking, what are they doing? But you just have to know that they have a plan. It's part of the plan, so support that. But as far as innovation with you want to make sure that you're thinking outside of the box too, that you are, we're going to be focusing all next 3 months really on social media and stuff like that. That's innovative. That's new stuff that's coming out. Facebook is on the decline. What's coming up next? We're going to talk about it next month. So staying in the forefront, is it a lot of work? Yeah, sometimes, but this is a business. Can you imagine, you have to treat it like a business. If you want to make the kind of money that CEOs do, they stay in front of all of this kind of stuff. Okay. And then the last thing is brand marketing, which of course we talked about last week, so I won't go into it too much. But Starbucks, they put their logo on everything. Their name is on everything. They've got, nobody's wondering if you're drinking a Starbucks because you've got an unmarked cup or something like that. Use your brand. We talked about that last week, so you can go back and watch that video if you haven't already. Use that name. Let people know. Everybody that comes within 3 feet of you, you may not talk to them because they may not be qualified or whatever, but they should know that you're with the company that you're with. All right, any questions so far? I'm kind of watching the chat room. I know I'm going over a lot and going really quickly through it. I feel like I look terrible. Okay, so here's another thing. So we figured out who our ideal client is. We figured out where they are. The other thing is I wanted to challenge you to become that ideal client at some, at some level. The whole birds of a feather thing. If they're going to the salon all the time, maybe that's where you need to go. The gym, the playground, the whatever. You can't stay home all the time. You can't stay home and build a business that is going to make you financially free. Yes, there are some businesses now that are solely run online. They're social media selling, and I think that is great. The people that I know that are really making it in those particular businesses, though, they're also going out and talking to people. They're being a product of their product, which is one of the tips that we talked about on the Facebook group. Become involved in your community. One of the things that you can do is become well known. We talk about if you are not booked as solidly as you want to be, it means that not enough people know that you do what you do. So get out there, get into your community, let people know who you are. People knew my business more than they knew my name. A lot of times, my name, they're like, oh, hey, you're the girl that, whatever. The girl that, because nobody knew my name, and I was okay with that. If you knew me about my business, that was fine. But you've got to get out there and get in your community and get known. Now people know me as the blogger and the coach, and everywhere that I go, somebody's either, hey, this is Pink, it's you, or hey, this is Wine, it's you, whatever. Get out there, get known. You can't hide behind, your front door. Get a hobby. What else are you interested in? If you didn't do direct sales and you had this time, what would you be doing? What would you be filling your time with if direct sales wasn't around? Find a hobby. I had one gal that I talk about all the time that was struggling with her jewelry business, and I said, honey, what else do you want to do? What else can you get excited about? And she said, well, before my kids were born, I was a quilter. Well, I had no idea that there's like an entire community of women who quilt. I've never been crafty like that, so I had no idea. But what ended up happening, there was groups at her church that did quilting. They did, like the church, anytime new babies were born or anytime anybody got sick and stuff like that, they would all get together and do these little quilting parties and stuff like that. So what happened is that she started meeting all these new people. They started connecting as people with a love of quilting. And then she was like, oh, by the way, I also do this, and boom, suddenly she has, a flourishing jewelry business. But I think that a lot of it was because it got her out of the house. It was something that she was passionate about that had nothing to do with direct sales, and she was able to build the relationship first. All right. Remember the sales 5-step process, and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to start going a little quicker here. This is the process of sales, and you have to think when you're doing your marketing plan, where does every aspect of what you're doing fit into this? Because developing the relationship, figuring out what it is, you become friends with somebody, and then you figure out what part of your business do they need? What part of your business would fulfill a need for them? Is it the product? Is it the hostess opportunity? Or is it even the opportunity? It could be that you have a great opportunity to help that person get out of a financial bind or whatever. Overcoming objections, creating and showing that solution, showing in a clear-cut ABC manner the solution, and then closing the sale. And then, of course, we can't talk about marketing without a little bit of the advertising. At Party Plan Divas, I call advertising gardening. And I do because I think that there are so many similarities to planting a garden and building your business. And so since the beginning of time, I've called it gardening. And I want you to think of doing your advertising as planting seeds. You have to have a plan. When you decide you're going to plant a garden, and I'm talking about seeds, not seedlings, no cheating here, you have to have a plan. Are you doing vegetables or are you doing flowers? What vegetables are we doing? What flowers are we doing? How are you going to lay it out in the bed? Because if you just throw it in there, who knows what you're going to end up with, right? So you have to have a plan. Then you have to have your tools. With gardening, you have your seeds, you have your shovel, you have all that kind of stuff. Well, with us, we have business cards, we have flyers, we have samples, we have little hard candies and stuff like that. Those types of things are our tools. Then you have to decide, prepare the soil. Where are you going to go? Where are things actually going to go? If you're using the Diva Success System, what I suggested is that you pick a different type of location every single month to market. So maybe this month you're doing dentist offices, and next month you're doing daycares. The month after that you're doing community centers, like whatever. Because if I said just go out and market, like that's so overwhelming, right? Just go out and meet people. Well, it's like, especially if you live in a huge city. So break it up into little bits so that it doesn't seem quite so overwhelming. And then go out there and just plant those seeds. That initial time that you talk to people, you walk in, you hand samples, you start building that relationship. Make sure that you give it enough sunshine. When you're handing something out in these little gardening gifts, you want to make sure that there is enough sunshine, enough information in there that people will know what it is that you're selling, know what it is that you're offering, know how to get in touch with you, but it leaves them wanting a little more. You don't be overwhelming, but you want to leave them a little bit, leave them wanting more, leave them wanting for more information. And then water it. Just like a normal garden, you got to water it. So if you go gardening to a dentist office, in a couple weeks, you stop back by. You stop back by, and maybe you've left a lobby basket or whatever. Or I joke that I used to go saloning. I would go to all the different salons, and I actually got my hair cut 3 different times in 1 month at 3 different places because I couldn't figure out how to stop back by without, getting my hair done. So not that I suggest that because I got a little short, but you've got to water it and have that follow-up. And then the last thing about gardening is to give it 90 days. If you've ever planted a garden from seed, you stick the little thing in there, you in the dirt, you water it real good, you throw it out in the sunshine, you get up the next morning, and you have dirt. You watered it, put it out in the sunshine, and you get up the next morning, and you have dirt. Okay? Well, what happened? You keep watering it, you keep putting it in the sunshine. Why? Because you know that it's happening. You know that there's something happening under the soil. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. In a couple of days, you'll have a teeny tiny little green plant, little bitty like this. Now, you can't make a salad with that yet, right? You're not making a bouquet with it, but it's a little bitty thing. Well, what happens in 3 months, right? I don't know about you. I tell a story about Mike. Started with cherry tomatoes. Now, if anybody has ever grown cherry tomatoes, he started with like 1 stalk. And within 3 months, we had enough cherry tomatoes to probably supply every grocery store in Northwest Florida. It was ridiculous. We had 20-something plants out there. Like every week, he was like having to practically harvest these things. They were going bad. There were too many. Too many. We were giving them away. It was crazy. We don't even have many more. It was so overwhelming. If that was parties, that's a good problem to have, right? So you have to think of those cherry tomatoes. He did. He went out there every day and watered them and pruned them and all this kind of stuff, and took good care of them. And like I said, within 3 months, they just exploded. The same thing is going to be true with your business. If you go out there and you work with them every day, in 90 days, you're going to have that big flourishing garden. Make sure that your gardening gifts look like a gift. They're, appealing. You can go efavormart.com, efavormart.com is one of my absolute favorite places to find little gardening gifts. They have little boxes like that. They have little organza bags and stuff like that. Make sure it looks pretty, but you just want to put enough information that leaves them wanting more. So if you put your business card, you can have little samples in there. On your business card, if you could put a little bit of information about the opportunity, put a little bit of information about the hostess plan. If you have done the Diva Success System and you've ordered your products 90 days in advance, have your current specials on a set of business cards that you can hand out, ahead of time and stuff. So just make it look appealing. Business cards get thrown away, okay? But when you give somebody a little gift, she's going to put it in her purse. She's going to hold on to it. All right. A couple little last things because I know I'm over the time. What are your benefits? What sets your company apart? You need to be able to answer all of these things. These are things that people may ask, conversations they may have. What is your hostess program? No, you don't need to go into, well, if you sell this much, you get this. If you sell this much, you get this. If you sell this, but if you do this, you get this and this, and you get it. Okay, right? Because it's overwhelming. So if it's you get 20% party sales, or you get, whatever it is, have a basic starting point that you can go there. What is your best-selling product? If I ask you what is your absolute bestseller, can you off the cuff, boom, tell me about it? Those types of things you need to make sure, because as you're gardening, as you're talking about your business, these are questions that might come up. Just a reminder, and this is something that maybe you can print. I'm going to put this whole thing up on the training page, but this is something to maybe print because I want you to constantly be thinking about this circle, and I think this is going to be backwards, so maybe I have to go this way. But prospecting, initial contact, presentation, handling objections, closing the sale, follow up, prospecting, okay, it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And every aspect of your marketing plan is going to fit into each one of these places.